Saturday Social is powered by FIFA 22 with PlayStation.
Frank, how are you, mate?
Good, thank you.
Good. This is Never Have I Ever. Now, it's very simple. I've got a series of questions in front of me. They're statements, really. If you have done them, reveal the I have. If you haven't, it's I have never. Are you ready for this?
Okay, I'm ready.
Never have I ever met my footballing idol.
Yep.
Who was your footballing idol?
Maradona.
Wow.
So I grew up adoring Maradona, even when the Hand of God goal went in. Those World Cups in that period, 86 particularly, obviously, were just when I was a wide-eyed kid, and everything about him was what I loved. The dribbling, the left foot, the ability. Gazza was my English idol, and then on a worldwide level it was Maradona, and then I went to one of the, I think it was the FIFA Pro Awards. I'd finished, I was given out an award or something to do with it, and backstage with him. And I asked for a photo with him, which I never do.
Did you?
Yeah, I never really.
Were you nervous
do.
at that point?
Yeah, I was. I was nervous because it was such a moment for me. I don't kind of get like that, especially within my own field of football. You know, you get used to seeing people that you admire, but he was on a different level for me. So it was a bit of a nervy moment. I kind of backed off, waited in the wings, and then jumped on him.
Did you? Yeah. Where's that photo now?
At home. It was literally on my phone, so I've just got it. I'm a bit useless like that. I don't follow it up, but at the moment I was like, I've got to get this one.
Never have I ever been starstruck by a celebrity.
I have, and I probably have a few times, but I'll mention this one because we're now friends, but it'll be Ed Sheeran.
Oh, some big names we're rolling out here, aren't we?
So I've got to drop them in. Ed is, I met him in my playing days at Chelsea, came to a game, and the biggest thing I was struck by was his humility.
Everyone says that, how down to earth he is.
Yeah, down to earth. It was just like his first album had just kicked in, so he was becoming a big star, and obviously now he's gone through the stratosphere. You know, he's an absolute megastar. He sang at my wedding, and
class.
Felt very fortunate for that.
Never have I ever broken a Guinness World Record.
Well, I have. You must know I have.
I do, yeah.
I broke the record. It was in my latter days as a player at Man City. Can't remember who I scored against, but it made it the 39th.
I think it was against Chelsea, which made the 39th. Yeah,
39th because Chelsea. So shows you how many teams in my long career come up and down in the Premier League. And the goal against Chelsea, of course. So I remember getting awarded a certificate, which I do have, and I've kept. And it's sort of a bit of a surreal one. One I expected ever to get, but when you think of the players that have been in the Premier League over periods scoring goals, that was something I was proud of.
Never have I ever had a better partner than Didier Drogba.
I've never. I played with great players. I always mention Didier and John as the greatest, but if you talk about a link-up and a relationship that we had on and off the pitch, and the feeling that you know where someone is and they know where you are, and you're kind of always looking for each other. We used to train like that every day. We used to train, do finishing together, talk about situations of one-touch passes. He'd be on the move. I'd arrive in the box, he'd be setting me up. It was looking back, you don't always realise these things at the time. Looking back, it was a beautiful time in my career to work with a player at that level that was really willing to work with his teammates, and particularly myself, to make me better. And hopefully I made him a bit better. And
of course, you mentioned about the link-up. You had the most goal combinations in Premier League history, just been broken by Kane and Son. Is that something that you're bothered about, or not at all?
No, not at all. You know, I think Harry Kane and Son are incredible players.
Yeah. Where do you rank them in terms of all the great? You mentioned
just
yourself
below
and
Just below myself. No, I mean, as I say, it doesn't matter. The game will always move on. People will always break records, and when they do it, particularly with those two, really two humble players, you know, hard-working, great talent, and even if it's a Tottenham thing, and I'm seen as in my playing days a Chelsea man, I've got no problem with it at all. They rank very highly in terms of double acts or whatever in history, and they're proving it with that, breaking that record.
Never have I ever had goosebumps from the atmosphere at Goodison Park.
Well, I have.
Yeah.
And I probably had like negative goosebumps as a player.
Yeah.
Because I always remember coming here, and sometimes you feel like you had a game, you had control of it, and then in a minute it'd go away from you. And it was generally down to probably something that happened on the pitch, but the crowd. And then when I came and had my debut as a manager against Brentford, the support I felt, you know, for myself, for the team on the day, the roar, which then we've had in all our home games since then, has been a huge thing for me. I really appreciate it, and it's what we do this job for. You do it for the fans and for the appreciation, and for the fact that you can work all week to try and give them some enjoyment the weekend. It's a club that absolutely, fans adore the idea of Everton. They want to see the players play. They want to see me buy into what they see and what they want. And it's a huge lift.
Never have I ever regretted a haircut.
Well, I have. And if I say no, then you just pull out all the dodgy ones.
Well, I might do.
No, I had curtains as a kid. the
I
kid.
had curtains written down actually.
I had curtains as like a teenager.
Yeah.
From like latter school days, moving into West Ham youth team, into the first team.
Do you regret that though? Because at the time I had curtains. A lot of people did. It was the thing, wasn't it?
I don't really regret it. It was the thing. It's just cringy when you look back. But you know, I look at now the new generation, the 20-year-old football players, and they're doing a lot of different things to what I would have done. So it's just part of the process.
Never have I ever believed I could be pro in another sport.
I have. I did believe. I had a period between probably 11 to 14, 15 where I was playing football and cricket. So I played cricket at school, played cricket for Essex, and I was not bad. I don't think I would have become a world-class cricketer. I was pretty good. I was always dedicated as I was with football, and I just got to a time where I had to make a choice to absolutely commit to something more than the other.
Bowl bat. What was your specialty?
I would be a batsman that bowled probably. So I would.
Freddie Flintoff-esque then.
Yeah, no, that's doing me a big favour. Doing me a massive favour. I would just agree with it. I was like a number 4 or 5 batsman. I was steady, and I was like, you do well to get me out. I'd be like Jeffrey Boycott. I'd be like, you're not going to get me out, but I'm only going to score 20 runs in about 20 overs. I don't know. I'll stay in.
Ever hit a 6?
Well, I have.
Yeah.
That goes against the grain of what I just said. But I played a charity game. I hit Nasser Hussain for 6.
Wow.
Back over his head.
Wow. Great story.
Yeah, he was. And I think he got the ump with me because he was bowling sort of that. You know, like it was a mixture of cricketers and footballers.
Yeah.
So it was one of those. Well, I'll toss it up for you because you'll probably just try and deal with it. He tossed it up and I put it straight back over his head for 6.
Never have I ever met the Queen.
I've never, and I would love to. I've met Prince William.
Yeah.
He gave me my OBE.
Yeah, talk to me about that. That must have been unbelievable.
It was just surreal. On a family level, on a personal level, I took my Christine, my wife, and my 2 daughters at that time, and it just doesn't sink in. It doesn't sink in, and you're sitting or standing there in line with people, I don't know, 200 people on the day, but with incredible stories. You're a footballer, and you kind of go, oh, and then there's people that work in society doing amazing things, and it was really special. How
do the nerves compare? Because obviously you've achieved so much in your career, player and manager, to say winning the Champions League as a player to that day of meeting the Queen. Because obviously to meeting Prince William, because they have your comfort zone a bit, isn't it?
It's funny, like there's like one detail within a really important thing, and it was the bow.
Right, okay.
And so, because playing the Champions League, there's a million details. Football is kind of what you do, so you kind of get on with it. But then when you stand in there, someone goes, okay, you go and get your medal, and you're like, okay, and then they go, then you have to bow and walk back 3 steps and walk off. And I went off to the toilet, and I'm like,
what, you're practicing the bow in the toilet?
Because I was thinking, you don't want to do the full body. And you do the head, and in the end, I think I did a really minimal one, so that wasn't that disrespectful.
Never have I ever regretted buying a designer item of clothing.
I can't think. I'm going to say I've never.
Okay.
So, in my younger days, I would have gone for something a bit loud, let you know what I'm wearing with a bit of a logo. And then I think I probably got to an age where Christine pulled me aside and said, that doesn't work for you anymore.
Okay,
keep it plain and simple. You get into towards the 40s.
Never have I ever wanted to be in a reality show.
I've never wanted to be in a reality show.
Strong.
Yeah, strong. I love them. I get, semi-addicted to certain reality shows. Love Island.
Yeah.
Gets me. I was a massive fan of Big Brother. I was a bit celebrity Big Brother.
Yeah.
When that went, I was a bit of a low point.
Was it?
And, I just enjoyed it. Like you get in, especially when you're working sometimes, and we work really consumed here, and you go all day, and you do need light relief.
Yeah.
But you don't really have to focus on too much, and then you start to get into it. And then it's part of the conversation at the training ground, and that's the one thing that I do. I do enjoy watching it, but it's like my worst nightmare to go into the jungle, for instance, or things like that. It would just be, and Strictly. Got asked to do Strictly.
Did you?
Yeah, got asked to do Strictly since I've finished.
And did you consider it at all?
No.
Why not?
No, because I just can't dance.
That's a good reason, isn't it?
Never have I ever won a pub quiz.
I've never.
Never?
No.
Really?
I haven't done that many.
Okay.
But I'm normally that table that's had a few drinks.
Right.
I didn't expect to be in it, but we make a late shout.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You go to the pub and you realise there's a pub quiz.
Yeah,
and you chuck your name in the hat.
And then you just kind of shout funny stuff out now and again. I remember going to one with Idaho Johnson near where I live at the time. And we'd had a couple, and all good and stuff. And it was, I'll leave it there. But we didn't win. We didn't win, but it was good entertainment.
So, if you were on a pub quiz, who would be the best and worst person from the world of football to be on your table? Do you think?
Jamie Carragher would have been amazing.
Yeah, his knowledge is unreal, isn't it?
Incredible knowledge of particularly football and things like that. So he could almost be like your wingman who covers that base.
Never have I ever posted a topless selfie.
Are you sure about that?
No, I'm not absolutely sure. When you say topless, is it like literally like that? Look at my body, or is it? Because I can't have done that.
Has there been a photo of you topless on your Instagram? Perhaps, maybe.
No, that's different. I've not done the whole look at me one.
Okay, fine.
Firstly, I haven't got the body to do it. I never have.
To be fair, the photo I'm talking about, you're looking in good nick.
Yeah. I mean, people used to kind of get me wrong as a player. I used to get a bit of stick for different things, and in my prime, I was 6-7% body fat, up and down playing every few days. Yeah, I was in my prime, and as I say, those curtains I had when I was a kid and a little bit chubby kind of stuck with me for a bit. And of course now I'm 43, so it's all a bit.
Did that bother you when people had that opinion of you? Because you were bossing it in the Premier League, winning every trophy, and people have that assumption of you? Does that wind you up, or does it not play into your mind at all?
No, maybe as a young kid. When I was sort of 18, 19, 20, and probably when I moved across to Chelsea at that sort of early age, and then you become a bit more sure of yourself. But it's a good point, because it can be seen as light-hearted banter. But now we're much more aware of what that means to younger people, or anybody actually. When you're in football, sometimes people think, well, you're fair game for whatever. We'll say whatever you want. And there are some things that are clearly off limits, rightly so, and there's some things that fall in between, which is a shame, and social media's taken that obviously through the roof. So it didn't bother me, and certainly not as I got older. It was like I enjoyed that. It was almost like, if I know that if people are going to revert to that kind of stuff, it means I'm doing something, wherever club you might have been at, and they were giving it to you. So it's fine. And you get older, you kind of realise it's pantomime. They say stuff about you because they will.
Never have I ever had an arm wrestle with Duncan Ferguson.
That's an obvious one. I'm not that stupid.
Never even tried it?
No.
Who do you think would come out on top if you did have one?
I'll Dunk.
All day long?
Of course he would. Yeah, of course he would. He's been great since we've been here. Me personally, with the staff, and clearly well respected in the club, as he should be. He's a club legend. But there's a clear line that you wouldn't go over with him, because you know that he would just beat you at the arm wrestle and probably have you in a headlock and just give you one of those if you wanted to. But he's great lad, and great to work with. And you know what? Actually, people joke about that side of him. He clearly is couldn't look after himself. But when you go behind that and scratch beneath the surface, he's a very caring bloke, loves his family, comes to work, works, loves his club, and has been very welcoming to myself and all the staff.
Love it. Frank, really enjoyed that. Enjoy that?
Thank you, really did.
Class.
Really did, mate. Thank you.